Good morning, Sean.
Morning, Mrs. Fletcher. Say, you wouldn't have the time, would you?
It's 10:15. Why?
I was supposed to meet Milton Becker here at 10, but the gallery's still closed. I called his house and only got the answering machine.
It's not like Milton to be late for an appointment.
I know, it's silly, but I got worried and called Milton's brother Donnie at Brushstrokes. He said Milton's probably lost track of time at the gallery. He suggested I just let myself in. Apparently, Milton keeps a spare key hidden in his house. Care to join me?
Why not? It's a lovely day, and I could use the walk.
Good morning, Jessica. I can't imagine why my brother Milton is running late on a fine day like this.
It's going to take a lot of searching to find that key. Donnie told me the key's in a bottle somewhere, but Mr. Becker's got a flair for theatrics.
Well, there's no time to lose. Let's poke around and find it.
Milton, are you in here? Oh no, Milton!
Sean, call Sheriff Metzger.
And you should plan on sticking around town, okay?
Yes, Sheriff. I should go tell his brother Donnie, if that's all right.
Donnie over at Brushstrokes, right? Sure. All right, Mrs. F. Now let's have a look around.
Donnie seemed pretty close to his brother. He'd know if Milton had enemies. Who could have hated him enough to kill him? We should speak to him and find out if he knows what could have led to such a turn of events. Donnie, I'm so sorry about Milton. How are you holding up?
I'm doing okay. I can't believe Milton's gone. It's funny, but it's the little things that have been really getting to me. The neighborhood kids have been messing around with the red display balloons. Normally it would just be a hassle, but today, it's just too much.
Oh, Donnie, I'm sorry. Maybe I can help with that. But really, quickly, the painting that was stolen from the gallery. Do you remember which one it was?
Sure, it was Portrait of a Garden, the landscape by the famous Maurice Arsenault, my old friend. It was the last work he produced before his untimely death.
Well, well, well. What brings you here?
We're on the lookout for clues. We'll be back in a while to see you, Sabrina.
Mrs. Fletcher, I know it's silly, but I've locked myself out of my studio. I broke the window, but I still can't reach my keys. Any ideas?
Ah, you must be here on your investigation.
We wanted to ask you a couple of questions, but you seem to be busy.
The renovators working on my office spilled blue paint all over the stairs, and I was trying to get it cleaned up. Come on in.
Blue paint again. This code could be the key to figuring out if it's the same shade as what I found at the crime scene. The renovations seem to be coming along nicely, Sabrina.
Jessica! Sheriff Metzger. How nice of you to stop in. Yes, it's slow going, but we're making progress.
Ms. Arsenault, I need to ask you a few questions about Milton Becker. What's your relationship to him?
He was an associate of my father's. That's all. Can you show me something that would prove otherwise?
Milton was an associate of your father's. Then how do you explain this letter?
Where did you get that? Ugh, I suppose it doesn't matter. Milton and I were engaged in a legal battle over my father's final painting, Portrait of a Garden.
What sort of legal battle, Sabrina?
My father promised me the painting, but after his death, Milton claimed it was gallery property. As if I would let him get away with stealing my inheritance.
brilliant. I thought I'd be stuck here all day. Welcome, I'm sorry for the mess. You're here about Milton Becker's death, aren't you, Mrs. Fletcher?
Word travels quickly. I was hoping you could tell me something about the painting that was stolen.
Portrait of a garden? Well, it's extremely valuable. Not only is it Uncle Maurice's last work, it's also considered to be his finest.
Oh dear. Whoever stole it must have known this, meaning we're dealing with someone very knowledgeable about the art world.
Did you ever have any kind of resentment against your brother, Donnie?
That was a long time ago. Milton stole the paper I wrote to get into art school and claimed it was his. It doesn't really bother me anymore, though. I found success in my own small way.
Sheriff, Mrs. Fletcher, what are you doing back here?
Miss Bateman, I think you stole the painting from Milton Becker's art gallery and killed Milton when he caught you in the act.
You can't prove that. You can't even prove that I was at the gallery last night.
Miss Bateman, this paint found on the victim's face proves that you were there the night of the murder. Only one artist in Cabot Cove uses this shade of blue. You.
Okay, maybe I was there. Milton had invited me to meet him at the gallery to discuss some ideas he had to promote my work. That's what he said anyway. When we got inside, he made a pass at me instead, so I slapped him. Oh, that's how my paint got on his face. He was alive when I left him, I swear.
I've seen marks like the ones that this penknife made on the paperweight before. On the frame of the stolen painting. Perhaps I can compare the two of them at the gallery.
Back again so soon. Can I help you with something?
You were in the gallery the night of Milton's murder, weren't you? You left your footprints behind.
Can you prove that?
Sabrina, we know you were at the art gallery the night Milton Becker was murdered. We found footprints on the floor that match with this shoe we found in the dumpster right outside your office.
Yes. It's true. I was there. I'd failed to convince Milton to give me my father's painting, so I decided to just take it.
And then you killed him.
What? No. And I didn't even steal the painting. By the time I got to the gallery, it was already gone. The killer, too, I hope. I was going to use a penknife to cut the canvas out of its frame, but I lost my nerve and ran out when I saw Milton's body on the floor.
You're a savior. I thought I'd have to dig my way out of here.
Now that we can finally look you in the eye, we'd like you to answer a couple of questions. What's this about a beef you had with Milton?
I always had a hunch that he was shorting me on my commissions, but that's nothing I would kill him over. I've been more enterprising lately, and have been trying to find more professional suppliers. I even broke off relations with Brushstrokes.
So you no longer buy supplies from Donnie?
Nope. He was all willing to give me discounted rates and everything to get my business back. The receipt from my last stone delivery is lying around here somewhere. You'll see it was for free.
My goodness! Is that blood on this chisel? Mustn't leap to conclusions. Could well be paint, after all. I should do some research to be sure of what I suspect. This is conclusive evidence that proves that Sean's chisel was the tool used to steal the painting and to murder Milton. It's time to demand an explanation.
Oh, you came at a bad time. I was just gonna lock up and step out to get some supplies.
We just need a few minutes to discuss this little thing we found. Something that ties you to the murder and theft without any trace of a doubt. Sean, these fingerprints we found on an invoice at the gallery are yours beyond a doubt. And these here test results prove the tool used for the theft and murder was a chisel. Your chisel, to be precise. You were there the night Milton Becker was killed, Sean. You want to tell us why?
Fine. I wanted to go through Milton's invoices. I was looking for proof that he was cheating me on the sales of my work. When I got to the gallery that night, the door was unlocked. And Milton was dead on the floor with my chisel through his back.
So you took the chisel and hid it here? Why didn't you just report the murder to the police?
I was terrified, not thinking straight. I knew that someone must have been trying to set me up, and I didn't want the sheriff to find my chisel in Milton. Or in me. The killer could have still been there. So I decided I'd just hide all the evidence and get out of there. Then I tried to keep my morning appointment with Milton, so no one would ever suspect me.
You could have saved us a whole lot of trouble if you'd been more responsible. Are we the only ones who know about this? Did you confess this to Miss Bateman when you had coffee with her this morning?
What? Natalie? I haven't been to her place since we broke up. And besides, I'm allergic to caffeine. See?
Natalie, who really was drinking coffee in your studio earlier? We know it wasn't you. And we know it couldn't have been Sean.
How can you be so sure it wasn't Sean's? Do you have proof that it wasn't?
Sean told us himself about how he's allergic to caffeine. That means it wasn't him who was here drinking coffee. And it wasn't you either, dear. So who was it?
I didn't want to lie to you, Mrs. Fletcher, but I promised I wouldn't tell. You saw what happens to people in this town who can't keep their mouths shut.
I understand, Natalie. I think it's time we see what lies beyond that locked door.
Oh, you figured it out. My uncle is alive. Everyone knows that when an artist dies, his work becomes much more valuable, so he faked his death so he could sell his paintings for more money. He's been hiding out here with me.
In order to carry out such an ambitious plan, he must have someone helping him on the outside.
I think this letter has something to do with that.
Halt in the name of the law!
What's this? What's going on?
It's good to see you back from the dead, Maurice. You're looking well.
Sheriff, we need to find the painting.
Well done, Mrs. Fletcher. You solved Milton's murder and unraveled my carefully laid plans with one stroke of the brush. I'm impressed.
It would have been the perfect plan, if you could have left Milton alive. When you used Donnie's key to the gallery, Milton was in the back washing Natalie's handprint off his face. When he emerged, he caught you in the act of stealing the painting, cutting it out with Sean's stolen chisel.
Then you killed him so not to have your plan ruined.
But being caught in the act wasn't your only motive for murder, was it, Maurice?
Milton's ex-wife, Odette, is my sister. The way he treated her up until the divorce, I thought no one would ever suspect a dead man for murder.
Since Sean found the door unlocked when he arrived at the gallery, you must have still been inside.
I hid in a closet and I heard Sean come in. Then Sabrina arrived. My God! It seemed like everyone in Cabot Cove had business there that night.
What did you get out of the deal, Donnie?
A cut of the profits. And revenge. Milton's getting into art school with my essay still rankles.
I've heard enough. Get these two out of here.
Have you ever arrested a dead man, Sheriff?
Nope. There's a first time for everything.